Okay, welcome back everybody for another episode of Ultimate General Civil War. Today we are going to be playing Logan's Crossroads. This is going to be a defensive battle. We're going to need to hold this position here. Looks like we'll have our forces coming in from this western flank here, and probably we're going to be facing enemies from the north, east, and south. And so we'll go ahead and read the battle description and then jump right into it. So it says the rebels have strengthened their presence at Cumberland Gap, a strategic position near the junction of Kentucky, Virginia, and Tennessee states. They recently made Mill Springs their winter quarters, and this position is our next military target. Detachments of the Army of the Ohio have been already dispatched and will gather at Logan's Crossroads to commence the assault. Your mission is to protect Logan's Crossroads until all our troops arrive. Detachments of your army are gathering at Logan's Crossroads to commence an attack on a rebel force at Mill Springs. Our scouts have spotted rebel patrols at the woods heading towards your position. Guard the crossroads until the rest of the detachments join you. Okay, and now we've got our men here. Let's go ahead and I'm just going to switch out our shot cavalry for our dragoons, and then yes, I want woods. We'll have 6 infantry brigades ready to help. And we will go ahead and we'll start the battle like this. Again, expecting enemies from the north, the east, and the south. We'll just have to deal with them as they come. I'm going to put Walton down here, Scales over here, Loomis up here. And the point of this is that I'm going to try to put an inexperienced division with inexperienced brigade with an experienced brigade in all these locations, and we'll just see what happens. And here we go. Go ahead and get everybody set up. We'll get Stockton out, ready to help where possible. I would love it if we had like a line of sight or like a vision point over here, but we unfortunately don't. So we're going to be a little blind as to where the enemy is, where they're coming from. Not the biggest fan of that. Okay, looks like we've got fire. Somebody's being shot at, but oh, here we go, it's Palmer. Palmer's taking fire. I was bringing Stockton back because I was afraid he was getting shot at, but if it's Palmer, that's not as much of a problem. And we will just wait here for our reinforcements and wait for the enemy to come out and to do battle. Okay, our shot cavalry is here. That's good. Our skirmishers are here. Very good. I'm going to move Trigger over here real quick just to see if we can spot anybody in these woods. It is a little frustrating that we've been fired on multiple times and yet nothing is revealing. Alright, we have the first enemy units showing up. Looks like they're coming at us pretty well from the south here. So that's where we're going to try to bring up some reinforcements, is to the south. Just make sure that we're able to deal with this. Got Morris coming around, ready to fire on Gibson. And I want to weaken them up because I don't want a charge. I don't want these guys to charge at me. That is the last thing that I want at the moment. Because if they all start charging, it's not going to be pretty. It looks like we're holding strong for now. We still have these units coming up. We'll be able to get another 2 artillery pieces over here. Then I won't be so concerned about anyone charging into us. Bring Palmer back. Get Scales over here. Triggers helping. I am worried about Palmer breaking under two charges. But it looks like maybe possibly we're pushing them back a little bit. Still got our artillery coming up over here. Let's send him to help over there. Scales, come over here. Okay, Loomis and Palmer were both able to fight off those charges, which is great. Not too excited about Eustace just routing off into the woods. We don't know what's over there. And also Palmer is just completely gone. Okay, there's another charge coming. but it's from way, way, way out there. So I think we'll be able to, break their morale and make it so that they don't charge into us. Yes, we were able to force them to rout, which is great. I'll have Duchesne coming up through the woods. I'll have Scales coming in from over here, and we'll start pressing them back. In the north, we're just holding for right now. Just kind of want to hold in the north. I'm not too keen on pushing into the woods over here. Where's Trigger? I want to make sure that he's able to provide morale over here. The one thing I do want, though, is I want these parrots firing over here, helping out our advance to the south. But overall, this is going pretty well. I'm pretty happy here. I might have Eustace come in and charge into these skirmishers just because they are... they're honestly a problem. We're not going to be super effective in... I was going to say we're not going to be super effective fighting them through the woods, but we got them to shatter, so that's something. And I'm going to bring Stockton in. I want to get a good shot on the side of these units. I think I'm going to have Eustace come around and charge down these fleeing skirmishers. We'll get a shot in, and then go into melee, turn that off. And then let's go ahead and send Eustace in over here. Got Marine cavalry on the flank. We're not too concerned about that. We'll be fine. Pawn surrendered, which is great. We'll go ahead and take him back. I'll send these guys in. And we'll clean up this cavalry down here, and then we'll focus on what's going on up north. Let's go ahead and get Palmer around. Let's get Morris up here. I'll have Walton come down a little bit more, help with Scales. It looks like none of these units are really firing, and maybe that's due to my neglect, but I do want them to be engaging. That is probably due in part to me being much more focused on what's going on here down in the south. Oh, now we've got an attack coming in from the east. So maybe I will have Walton. Yes, I think I will start deploying to hold out on the east there. Yes, I'll have Loomis come back. And let's have Palmer withdraw. Awesome, we're chasing them down over there. We want Pond. Let's get Palmer coming. We're fighting a sort of like a tactical withdrawal here, right? We want them to come in over here. I want to have a unit over here taking advantage of this good cover. I want to be closer to our own artillery. So we're being very tactical about this withdrawal. And Loomis is a very experienced unit, so I want him over here helping out. Get Duchesne over here. And there is a charge coming in. We want as much as possible to try to break this charge. Unfortunately, fortunately, these are pretty green units who we have taking these losses, so I'm not too upset about that. If anything, you know, it's okay for them to be taking those losses. I'm gonna put Loomis over here. Let's have Stockton come down and help with its cavalry over here. And we saw artillery units over here, so I want to get Eustace, my shock cavalry, in a good position to help out with that artillery. We're going to bring in Stockton pretty close and then open fire. Very good. Where is Eustace? Here's Eustace. Okay, we're going to bring Eustace. I'm surprised that Lindsay's 2nd Brigade here hasn't broken yet. They're in pretty bad shape. Okay, there they go. Excellent. Okay, here are our skirmishers. They've been doing okay. I want them to get more experience, though, in this battle. I want them to get more firearm experience in particular. So I'm gonna have them keep working on that. I want to get Stockton up here. And so now what we're doing with Eustace is we're just kind of running around this artillery, trying to draw their attention. And the real threat is going to be from Walton as well as Stockton here to the side. Okay, great. We got them routing. Stockton is unfortunately taking a lot of fire. Okay, now we're going to charge into them. Hopefully before they finish reloading. And we want them to route. We want them to start routing. Excellent. They started routing. So now they will not open fire. And we will hopefully destroy both of these artillery units. And man, they are really moving. And that's because they're probably both horse artillery, like this guy here. But in any case, we were able to take those units, which was really good for us. And I want to take the supply wagon, so I'm gonna try to do that. And these guys both got pretty hurt in that last engagement, so I'm just gonna have them act as a rear guard for now. I'm gonna have Duchesne try to advance. And we want to focus fire here on Stewart again. We don't want him advancing, or rather charging into us. Make sure Trigger's not blocking anyone over there. We're looking for the supplies over here. Excellent. We got Stewart to route, which is great news. Exactly what we wanted. We found their supplies, so we'll take that. Go ahead and bring Walton around. And we'll just keep trying to run down these skirmishers. We got their artillery over here. Let's get these supplies back. We're starting to run low on artillery, ammunition, so I'm going to bring our wagon over here and maybe give them ammunition for a little bit. Yeah, we're just going to keep running down these skirmishers. I want Eustace over here helping. We're gonna bring Walton around. We're gonna bring Scales here. Duchesne is gonna keep on coming. And so, if you want to min-max this game a little bit, your soldiers get more stamina from marching, and so I could just have these guys marching around, gaining stamina, experience, I guess you could say, increasing their stamina stat. I feel like that's a little bit gaming the system, so I probably won't do that. Excellent, we got these skirmishers to surrender. Those are pretty good rifles that they have, so I'm happy about that. I want these units to come in closer. They're not being pressured right now, so I want them to get on the flanks, get as close as possible, and just deliver really accurate close-range volleys. That is what I'm looking for here. Let's get these supplies over here. I want to be restocking Stockton. Yes, we want Walton advancing. I want Duchesne over here. Got Russell routing. Let's put the pressure here on Martin. Russell keeps surrendering and then running into Martin, which means that he doesn't surrender when that happens. And so we just got them to shatter completely. We're keeping the pressure on here, which is critical. We probably don't need to be giving out any more artillery ammunition. Everyone's pretty well supplied. I'm going to tell them to all hold fire because I want Eustace to charge in over here. And I want everyone else shooting on these skirmishers. So unless they are shooting the skirmishers, I don't want them firing. I said I want you guys shooting these skirmishers. I'll go ahead and send Stockton into melee as well as soon as his unit mounts up again. I must say it is a little frustrating when you're trying to run down a unit with your cavalry and they are somehow outrunning your cavalry. That is a little bit frustrating. But it's okay. Palmer's in really good condition, so I'm actually gonna try to run in Palmer and see if I can't charge them with Palmer before this battle ends in the next 11 minutes. I'm going to give them some movement orders just because they're fresh. I feel like it's a little less gamey now that they're fresh and they're just kind of standing there. But I also am trying to tighten up our defenses, which I feel is reasonable. We captured Martin's unit. He had reboard muskets. Those are pretty good. I can't believe Eustace has been in so much melee combat, and he's only up to 22. That is truly astounding. I'm going to stop our artillery. We're going to run in there, hold fire, hold fire, hold fire. Hold fire. Is he ready to charge yet? Not quite, but we're going to put him in melee. And I think this is their last unit, unless they have a general somewhere. In which case, when this unit shatters or surrenders, the battle should end. If this is their last unit, but we'll see. And there you go. Cavalry's just running down these skirmishers, finishing them off. They should be done any minute now. Got Palmer coming in just in case that wasn't enough. And that was their last unit, so we have won. We've got a pretty good ratio here, 6 to 1. Didn't lose any artillery, lost some cavalry, that's okay. But all in all, we did what we came here to do. So let's look at what we've got here. Captured some reboard muskets, captured some Springfields, these are rescued. We rescued those, and captured a lot more. Captured those infield pattern 1856s. All in all, pretty good. That's pretty good. So we're gonna go ahead and get our men refurbished, and then we'll get into the next fight. One thing I do want to point out though is here in Shiloh, which is the major battle that we're getting ready for. Here in Shiloh, we can bring 2 corps of 20 brigades. So what I'm going to do is before we go into the major battle of Shiloh, I am going to put a point of army organization, and that will allow us to take 20 brigades total, and we'll be bringing a full corps to Shiloh. We also might be able to make another corps. Indeed, we can. So I might make another corps as backup, a backup corps for Shiloh. We'll just have to see about that. But for right now, I'm going to put a point in logistics just because I always want to put a point in logistics before we get to the next major battle, because we want our shop to be stocking more and more equipment. Right now, we're kind of using the low end of equipment in the shop, but as the game progresses, we want to be buying more and more of the high-end stuff, like the Wrens, the infield pattern 1853, and then some of the other high-end weapons. And this is even possibly even more important when it comes to the artillery. We want to be buying the high-end artillery here, and the cavalry weapons. So for right now, I'm going to put a point into logistics, just so we can cross that off. And then we'll put our next point into army organization before the major battle. Let's see how many veterans we have. We've got 341. That's not bad. So let's see. Scales was at 1,500 men. I really don't see why we can't put him back at 1,500. Maybe even put him at a little bit more. I don't think that would be too much of a problem. Loomis, how many men did he have? He was at 1,400. If we put him back up to 1,400, that doesn't hurt his stats too much. But then once we start getting into the higher end, that will set him back some. I'm going to put him at 1,500 soldiers. Walton, one of our more elite units, he was at 1,200. I'm gonna bump him up to 1,300 men. Eustace, one of our cavalry units. So I think I said this in the last video, but when it comes to my specialty units, I do want to be fitting them out with veteran units, whereas with the infantry, I'm much more, and I will put the rookies in and just figure it out. So with this cavalry, I am going to put in veteran units to bring him back up to 400. Woods is doing pretty good here. It looks like we took some damage. I'm gonna bring him back up to strength. Palmer was at how many? Palmer was at 1,300 and lost more than what he killed, which is really unfortunate. But we're gonna bring him back up to strength. He was at 1,300. I wouldn't mind putting him more at like 1,400. I think he'll be fine there. What if I bump him up to 15? Honestly, there's not a big difference between 1,400 and 1,500. So I'm going to put him at 15, because the more soldiers you have, the more damage you're going to be doing. In the base game, there is a optimum amount of soldiers to have, and when you go above that optimal amount, you actually start doing less damage. So you can imagine it's sort of like a curve, and you get to the optimal number of soldiers, you're doing maximum damage, and then as you put more soldiers in, you end up going down in this curve. Well, here with the mod, you actually get to a point where each soldier you add is doing more damage, more damage, more damage, more damage, and as you add soldiers, they become less and less effective, but they will always add more damage to the unit. And so the marginal return that you're getting for each soldier that you add, that will start decreasing at a certain point, but they will always have a positive impact on your unit, whereas in the base game, that's not the case. So eventually we just want these units getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It doesn't matter how big we get them, really. And so I am going to be building them bigger and bigger over time. Whereas in the base game, I would probably leave them at a certain amount and just try to get them back up to that optimal amount. But here we want to be building these units bigger and bigger and bigger. And why not? We have 24,000 recruits to put in, so it's not a problem. We're going to put him at 1,500. Palmer was at 1,200 before. We're going to put him at 1,500 as well. Stockton, our brave Dragoon unit, I believe he's at 300 before, yes. So let's go ahead and bump him up. And here's something that's kind of funny, is because our veterans actually have less experience, if you will, putting in veterans is actually hurting our experience level, which is kind of funny, but we'll bump it up to 350. We will also put veterans in here, get up to 10 units. How did Meager do? 134. It's not terrible, but we definitely want to be doing more damage than that. I think Woods did incredibly, 813 kills in that last engagement compared to 134, and Crocker probably did. I'm I'm surprised that they got this many. Probably because I had 10 guns for Crocker versus only 7 for Meager. Um, but hopefully in this next battle, Meager will be able to output more damage. Let's see, Duchesne had 1,200 men, so we'll see how many we can put in before hurting his efficiency. And it looks like he actually takes a little spike here in efficiency, which is funny. But I'm going to put him at 1,500. Garish, I believe, was also 1,100. Oh, 1,200. So I want to see if that efficiency. No, the efficiency spike doesn't happen for Garish. But I am going to put him at about 1,500 men for now. Where does his efficiency fall off? It actually falls off around 1,800. So maybe I should just put 1,800 and it'll be a damage sponge, right? I can just have this 3rd Division be our damage sponges, where these guys are just getting shot to pieces, and that's okay because they're just rookies. Hatch was at 1,200. We'll go ahead and bump him up. He's not going to have. Maybe we'll keep it within our means here with the musket. How about 1,350? And then in the next battle, I'll give him the M1842. Awesome. Crocker took no losses. Allen did okay. I think in the middle of the battle, I wasn't too pleased with his performance, but he actually did fairly well there. So let's see how many veterans I have left. I have 19 veterans left. Not ideal, but it's okay. Put our vets in, and then we're going to bring in a handful of rookies, bump them up to 350, and I think we're ready to go here with these units. I'm curious. Okay, so efficiency does start falling off here for Palmer. Let's check Morris. Yeah, efficiency starts falling off there, and same with this Palmer. So we're going to hold off on adding more men here. Reputation's looking good. I might buy some of these Lorens with my reputation before the major battle. We'll see. And so now I'm checking the firearm stat of these units to see if I should be giving them a better rifle or better firearm. And for these men, they still have really bad firearms abilities, firearm stat. So I'm just going to leave them with these muskets. And these guys, as I said earlier, they're going to be like our damage sponges, so we definitely want them to just be going in with muskets. We don't want them losing really good equipment. And next time we're going to participate in river crossing. I believe this was an attacking mission, and I did not want our fresh green rookie men going into an attack mission because I wanted them to gain some experience on defense first. But we'll do this next time. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to subscribe, leave a like, or leave a comment. Let me know how I can improve. I'm totally open to hearing what you have to say. Thanks everybody. Until next time. Bye.